So welcome everybody, it's Lisa and I am giving you a quick overview of what my trip was like. I've been meeting lots of you and you're saying, how was your trip? What did you see? So this is video one of 10,000 miles, 10 weeks over in 30 states. And this is where I started heading west from New Jersey to California. And there'll be several videos after this to finish up the trip. But I figured I'd give you a quick overview of what I did and who I saw and what the fun was. And of course, the blog will have lots more with more details and more pictures, but I thought you would enjoy this right now. So let's get started. So first of all, of course, I went over to AAA to plan the route. AAA has amazing help there, and we laid out the map and put the tour books out and put pins everywhere we were supposed to go. So it was pretty amazing. And then this is me, of course, leaving my sister's house. I actually left on September 27th. September 25th from Monmouth County. Stayed with my sister one night to finish packing up and getting ready to go. And that's me getting ready to leave from her place and head. My first stop was actually not even on my list, which is pretty amazing and wonderful about the whole way the trip went. I went under an overpass that said Shanksville Road as I was driving out the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and I said, wow, this is Flight 93 in the Memorial. And so I did the detour, which I am so glad I did, and I was able to go ahead and visit and pictures from there. Here, of course, we have the crash site. So that rock you see way down there, I don't know if I can, that is where the actual impact was, and I'm actually at an observation tower looking down over the crash site. And then what's over here is the memorial piece of the crash site, which is over here, and that's where, of course, all the names of the people who were killed in that crash are put on that monument. And here is Steve Clark. Steve is actually the man in charge of this entire site. He's the superintendent of that particular part of the national park. And he's from Philly. He saw me walking around. I had asked a question about, I think, directions for somewhere, and I had my Stone Pony sweatshirt on, and he struck up a conversation about New Jersey and the pony and all those kind of fun things, and really great guy, had a lot of fun. And from here I went on to Carbondale, Illinois to spend some time with my friend Deb Fry and her husband, and she had lined up some great opportunities for me there. So my first step was to go on their community radio station for Southern Illinois with Gary Williams and Les Odell from the Chamber of Commerce and the Economic Development Office. And they had me do an interview with them about best practices with using social media for businesses. In fact, that whole interview is recorded, and I will be putting it up on my business blog. Eventually you'll be able to see that. It'll be posted out there. That's me looking very official on the Talk of the Town radio station in the recording studio. And then after I left Carbondale, moving on, I was heading to Denver, but I did a quick stop at the St. Louis Arch. As you can see down here, lots of construction going on, so it's a mess there, but my goal was to go up to the top of this bad boy, which is what I did. And is the pod that you go into. It's got 5 seats. If you're claustrophobic, don't go. And at the very top, and when the whole blog goes up, I had to stop overnight somewhere along the way. It was a long drive, so I stopped in Topeka, Kansas, because I wanted to go to the Brown versus Board of Education National Historic Site. Powerful place to go. Of course, the 1954 Supreme Court decision was impacted and started there. Of course, ranger there, my park ranger Maya, was very helpful and gave me lots of great information. And when I left there, I headed to Denver. Denver was another work stop to help my friends at Rebel Restaurant. So Rebel is in the Rhino area of Denver, up and coming, very cool place. If you're in Denver, you've got to go to this place. They are getting rave reviews on Zagat's and every other foodie website, blog, rating. And I was helping Bo and his partners with some of their social media and their website. So it was great to be there for a couple days. And before I left, I got to meet my friend Kelly Johnson. Kelly and I met in Costa Rica 9 years ago. And I've seen her one other time. She came east, but now I got to visit with her in Aurora, Colorado. As you can see from her knee here, she just had knee surgery. So I was very lucky I got to visit with her a little bit, and glad she was able to at least get up and be mobile and hang out with me for a little while. And I headed to the Black Hills to actually see Mount Rushmore, a bucket list item. Had to drive through Wyoming, which, by the way, is absolutely spectacular. And headed to Rushmore, of course, seeing lots of amazing wildlife along the way. Not seeing any buffalo, though, but made some new friends. This is Candace and Steve. We were at the Miner Brew Pub, so I really enjoyed them. And, of course, Rushmore. From a distance, of course, they have all the flags of all the states. And then there's that close-up of our presidents. And then me in front, because, of course, yes, I was there. I moved on to Salt Lake City from there. And here's where I got to hang out with my friend who's from New Jersey, who lives there now, Shannon, with her 2 children. And, of course, the first night I got there, we went to see a show because she knows how much I love music, just as she went to go see Blues Traveler at this place called The Depot in downtown Salt Lake. And then I did a little bit of sightseeing. Of course, Salt Lake scenery is spectacular, magnificent. You're going to hear me say that a lot, but it really was a once-in-a-lifetime chance to see this absolutely phenomenally gorgeous country we have. And I made it to Oregon. Again, another great dear friend, Kathy Steiner, with her husband Paul, also from New Jersey, who live out in Bend. Here we did a hike on the Deschutes River, which was, and again, spectacular scenery. Is just beautiful. And there's Kathy and her husband Paul, who just took wonderful care of me, them, and of course, and with their girls, Lucinda and Susanna. And I did some work, believe it or not. Yes, it was a working trip. I found a conference called Swivel, and it was a marketing conference with phenomenal speakers, absolutely great time, great professional development people, including Jason Miller, who is actually a group manager and content marketing and social media at LinkedIn. Yeah, the real deal. Jason was awesome presenter and got to talk with him. I connected with him and got a real good contact within LinkedIn right now. And moved on from Bend to Crater Lake, Oregon. Did a drive-through, just a really spectacular park and beautiful scenery. Heading to California. So I got into the tip of California. My next stop is going to be driving down through the Redwoods, but this is where I'm going to end this video. I was at Crescent City and here I am at the Pacific Ocean, so I made it to the California coast. So more to come, but this is just a quick overview of what I'm doing these days. Next up, we'll be heading down California.